In today's video, I'm going to talk about something most of us are all going to start seeing here over about the next month or so, and that is our grass going to seed. Let's get out of the weeds. Thank you all for coming back to yet another video. I first want to start off and just say thank you to all of you who have subscribed and supported my channel so far. I just hit 1,000 subscribers, so I was absolutely so excited. I couldn't believe it. When I first started doing some of these videos, I never even thought it was possible to get to that. I was stuck at, I think, at like 27 subscribers for literally like 6 to 8 months, something like that, where literally it was never moving. And so I thought 100 was going to be insurmountable, and here I am at 1,000. And so I just want to say thank you all who have supported me from the beginning, and even the new people joining in. I also want to give a shout out to my beautiful wife, who surprised me when I got home the day that I hit 1,000 subscribers. I got home from work, and she has this beautiful out of the weeds cookie cake made for me. But thank you, honey. That really meant a lot to me. So whenever I talk about your lawn going to seed, what I'm meaning is you're going to start seeing seed heads pop up throughout your lawn. You're just going to be mowing regularly, doing your thing, but you'll look out there and your lawn might kind of start to look kind of a different color, and you're like, it doesn't look as green. And upon closer look, you'll see just a bunch of seed heads popping up all through your lawn. And so this is a typical thing, and so I wanted to make a video on it because it's something that the first time you start to really kind of pay attention and notice it, you might be like, am I doing something wrong? Is this supposed to happen? First off, it is completely normal and even healthy for your grass to go to seed. Naturally, plants are going to want to reproduce, and so your grass doing this is a sign that it's healthy. So here I have a seed head that I pulled out from my lawn, and you can see it's quite small here. Now, the different grasses are going to have different looking seed heads. This one here is actually a seed head for a grassy weed that we get in our lawns called Poa annua, so annual bluegrass. And I'll talk a little bit about that more here in just a minute. But here's just a typical seed head you may see in your lawn, because some of us will have this in here. And then here's another one. And so you can see here from this blade, you can actually see the seed heads were getting ready to pop out. And so as you peel that back, it kind of exposes all of the seed there. And so this is what you may start seeing, and some of it will have kind of a purplish tone and stuff. And so that is why maybe your lawn looks a little discolored during this time period. So now one thing that'll help limit the amount of seed heads you're going to see in your lawn is frequent mowings. But even sometimes, even if you're mowing at a regular interval, you may still see them. It just really kind of depends. But to limit it a little bit, having frequent regular mowings is going to help limit it as best as you can. But let me show you what you may start to see in your lawns. Here we are. You see my lawn here. I recently mowed it literally just yesterday, and so you don't really see anything. But if you look over here right at our property line with my neighbor, who it's been a few days since he's mowed his lawn, and look, you can start to see some of that purple seed heads popping up all throughout the lawn there. And so you can see his lawn's just going to seed. And so naturally it's going to give your lawn a little bit of a lighter appearance than what you're typically looking for. And so that's why a lot of people might think that there's something wrong with their lawn, when in reality this is just kind of a healthy cycle for it to be in. So just know that it is a healthy thing to have happening to your lawn, and all you really want to do is just keep doing what you're doing. Keep mowing it in. Now, one thing I will say, whenever you're getting to these seed heads, the grass can be a little bit stockier, and so what this can do is this can actually dull your mower blades a little bit quicker. And so make sure you have nice sharp mowing blades on there, and so that you're not tearing the grass, that you're getting a nice clean cut. Now, when this is happening to your lawn is expending a lot of energy to produce these seed heads. So a good practice to do is to actually fertilize your lawn around this time through these few weeks when you're going to start seeing this. This is going to help kind of replenish some of the nutrients in that it used to produce the seed. And so you definitely don't have to do that, but it is a good idea if it fits in with your kind of lawn care schedule. Now, if you just fertilized a week or two ago, then you don't want to do it. But if you fertilized here in mid-March or late March, you're starting to get into May, you're right around that time to put down another fertilizer application anyway, and so this may be a good time to do it. Another question some people may have is, can I just let it go a little bit and use those seeds and it'll help kind of thicken up my lawn? Well, typically with most of your kind of hybrid seeds, the way the seeds kind of are now that we're getting, most of them are going to be sterile, and so they won't really grow anyway, and so that's not really kind of a viable option. Plus, in order for them to go and even drop their seeds and everything, you're going to have to let your grass get much longer than we would typically do. And kind of if you're kind of in town doing your thing where you have an HOA kind of on you, and so you're not really going to be able to let your grass grow that high, let the seeds dry out, and then drop down into your lawn. And so that really wouldn't be a viable option anyway. Lastly, I want to talk about something you might be seeing in your lawn, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but it's a very common thing, and I even have a small patch in my lawn, and that is the annual bluegrass. So if you can just see right back here beside me, all the little seed heads that are beside me. What you're going to know by annual bluegrass is going to be almost impossible to mow the seed heads off. You lower the mower and they're just lower. They grow real low to the ground with their seed heads, and so it's next to impossible to just mow off the seed heads. And so that's a good sign that you have some of this annual bluegrass in your lawn. And the other thing you'll notice is annual bluegrass is a little bit lighter shade of grass, and so it's more of a kind of a lime green in color. But you're always going to kind of know that's what it is whenever you're seeing all those little seed heads pop up, and you're going to have a tough time kind of chopping them off with your mower because those seed heads are growing really, really low to the ground. And so this typically isn't something you want in your lawn. This would technically be considered a weed, and it is an annual grass. And so when this puts up the seed heads, it's dropping these seeds to reproduce and grow for next year. Now, the problem that you can have with this is if you do cut some of this off by mowing, what you can have is now you can spread this throughout your lawn, and then you can start to develop over the time, an annual bluegrass problem. So you're like, okay, well, how do I get rid of it? Well, this kind of gets into the issue. Some pre-emergents will control annual bluegrass. The issue is typically the timing of it. Because we typically are putting our pre-emergents for cool season grass down in the early spring, we're missing the window for Poa annua. And what this is typically going to be, because now their seeds are up, Poa annua is typically germinating in the late summer and into the fall. And so if you were going to put down a pre-emergent, as in catching it before it emerges for the next year, you're going to have gotten that down in the fall and kind of in the late in the season. And typically we're worried about seeding and doing some other things to our lawns during that time. So a lot of times Poa annua isn't really the focus at that time. Now, post-emergent, you're going to have a tough time finding things typically in your store because most of them are not going to be effective at taking out your annual bluegrass. Now, you do have the option, if you have kind of an isolated area or just a widespread area, that you can use a non-selective herbicide. So just kind of like your original Roundup, that will take it out. But the problem is if it's mixed in with your good grass, you're not going to be able to only target the Poa annua, you'll also harm your good grass around it. And so that's kind of why some of this can be a big problem if it starts to get out of control in your lawn. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time when we get out of the weeds into a beautiful lawn.